This feels weird.
It is weird.
Well, we're recording in public where there's people around us. That's just strange.
I'm making noise. Look.
Oh my goodness.
This is what I tell Lisa off for. You know when Lisa comes on the podcast?
Don't move!
And she's got like jangly bangles and stuff, and I have a go at her and get annoyed. But Lisa, I'm breaking the rules today. So yeah, we're breaking all the rules of podcasting by recording in a public space and
In a restaurant.
in a restaurant, in a hotel, with one camera and the sunlight or a window as our light source.
We've got music in the background.
There's music playing in the background, and we're drinking water out of coffee cups. There you go. So, so welcome. And
Episode 2.
Episode 2. Why are we doing this?
We've had a really good weekend, that's why. We spent the weekend at the Neonatal and Pediatric Pharmacy Group, NPPG, as we're known. We have a group conference every year. And as part of my podcasting role and things that I've learned in my journey with social media and marketing and the digital side of pharmacy, that I thought that they were missing something really key to showcasing what pediatric pharmacists do. And it all aligns again with careers and professional goals. And I convinced them to allow us to spend the weekend with them. Because I really wanted to come to conference and enjoy everything that they had to offer. But also I thought it was a really good opportunity to utilize our skill as a couple to showcase what this group has to offer and to share the highlights of the weekend. So here we are.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I've just been thinking as you've been talking there, like, isn't it how amazing is it? Like, if you think about our podcasting journey, it's because of the podcast that we're here. Let's be honest, right? Because of the podcast and creating content and putting it out there and being consistent and all of those things. It's just phenomenal that we're now here, being paid to come away for a weekend. We get to work together as well, which we'll talk about in a moment. I'm just really grateful. I mean, it's really great. And also you said something there about our skills. It's also nice to be recognized for what you do and the work that you put out there. And not that it's about follows and likes. And I know everyone says that. And at the end of the day, we all stalk that heart on our IG to see what's happened there. And that's okay. That's normal. But I'm just saying it's nice from a personal perspective that we're doing things that we're passionate about, that we truly care about, and other people are taking interest and appreciating that too. So I've had a fantastic couple of days. How many days? Friday. What's today? Sunday. So yes, we drove up on Friday morning we left, didn't we?
Friday morning.
Yeah, it was a nice, easy, long. Well, it was a long drive. It was nearly 3 hours, but we broke it up because we stopped and. So came up Friday. Friday night we did a little bit of filming at the conference. There was like a dinner and stuff, and just to get a couple of talks. And then Saturday all day we were pretty much there, which was fun. And then we had our date night on Saturday night. And here we are Sunday morning, about to leave to go home, and we just thought we'd impromptu record an episode of the podcast. So thanks to the vicarage. It's the vicarage, isn't it? Part of the Flat Cap group for letting us film here. I asked the lady at breakfast, and she said, "Yeah, it's fine." But she goes, "Look, it's going to be really noisy. So like, if you want somewhere quiet," and I was like, "Look, part of this reason of also doing it this way is I want to try and just break down the barriers of creating a podcast, because I think I know I've all or nothing, right? It has to be perfect, and I've now started to coach people not to be perfect like that. So I need to start practicing what I preach. So I think just going super minimal with our setup. I mean, we're using these Rode microphones, which actually we've been using the whole weekend.
I've been loving them all weekend.
Yeah, they're really good. So these are the new Rode Wireless Pros. And I picked these up before I went to Florida for that conference, and I used them there. I had other gear, so I didn't really get a chance to properly test them. So I wanted to properly test them out on this weekend. So yeah, we've been using them, and these handles kind of come separately, and you just attach a little microphone on there. I'll pop some B-roll over this footage to show you what that looks like. But yeah, we've just been literally using these, and you've been going around doing your best Kate AD impression, grabbing people and talking to them. But yes, this is. And I wanted to test them out for a podcast as well, because one of the things I want to start doing is a lot of people ask me, oh, Sanjay, what gear should I get? I just, this week I've had a conversation, I need to get a microphone. Do I need to get lights? So I want to start practicing and using some of this gear, because I'm so used to using, proper professional level recording equipment, microphones, all wired up and recorders. This is the first time I've traveled without bringing an audio recorder. Like, that's very rare for me. Everywhere we go, I always bring that audio recorder, because worst case scenario, we can record a high quality podcast. So I want to see what this sounds like. You guys who are listening right now or watching, you can let us know what it sounds like. But so I want to start recommending products that I think are really good, and I think these microphones are really good, and they take the friction out of recording, and that's one of the things I'm trying to help you with, right, is to remove the bottlenecks, which is technology, setting up a camera. So you've started, again, something else we'll talk about in a moment, about using the camera, and these are super simple. So you just switch them on, they record the file. Everything we're saying now is being recorded on this microphone here. Right, but there's also a signal going to the camera, and it's also recording in the camera. So these are the recorders. Effectively, they're so small, they're so easy to carry. And you just switch them on. You've seen how it works, and you just start and you go. So that's they've been quite useful. So we'll see how it goes with this podcast. How has it been for you using the tech? And obviously, you were the photographer for the weekend. How was that?
Yeah, it was quite fun. I quite enjoyed it. Because I didn't have to do anything else. That was sort of my role for the weekend, was to assist you, wasn't it? As well as gathering pharmacists to come, or pharmacy technicians to come and talk to us about the work they've produced, or the research they've been involved with. Obviously, that's easy for me and something I enjoy doing, connecting and networking with people and encouraging others to showcase what they're doing. There were a couple of pharmacists who didn't really want to come and chat to me, but they ended up doing it. And they even said, oh, I stepped outside my comfort zone. And I love that. That's a big thing for me, to help people to do that. So I was really, I really enjoyed it. I didn't even really know how to turn a camera on and how to use the zoom, or even flipping the video to be able to see it while you're taking pictures. So it's super basic, but you got to start somewhere, and that's kind of where I'm at, is that I am my own bottleneck at the moment in terms of recording my own content for Pharmacist Diaries. There's so many videos that I want to create, and I have to wait for you to be able to help me. And now you're in this full-time, amazing new job. You don't have time to help me with everything I want to do. And I need to take control of that, and I need to be independent. And I have resisted in taking that extra step, because I'm just like, I'm learning so much all the time. And it just seems like a very big, overwhelming task to then add on camera and video. But I think one of the things that I've learned is, improve 1% each time that you pick up that camera. Next time I want to know how to switch from, the autopilot camera mode to maybe learning how to understand the color grading, or looking at the best way to angle my photos, because we'll review some of those photos and you'll give me some feedback. So maybe that will help me. I already have ideas for the next conference, which I'm really excited about, even though it's a year away. If I look back at this video a year from now, I surely will be a much stronger person when it comes to the development with using the camera. And I can't wait to see where I'm at a year from now in terms of how I use it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I was seeing a lot of me in you when it was procrastination, right? It was like, oh, we need to record intros, and you'd have to wait for me, or I'd say to you, you can record them yourself, but you weren't taking that step, and it was that all or nothing, right? It's like, I don't know how to use the camera like Sanjay, so there's no, I'll kind of, you were kind of distracting yourself with other things, but you're right, it's that 1% rule, and this is what I kind of said to you. I said, look, just pick up the camera, stick it on auto, and when you're just sitting there doing your work, just press the button and just film yourself. It's just the act of doing it, isn't it? And in the fitness world, when I worked in diabetes, we talked about that. Everyone, you hear a lot of people talking about, people that want to go out for a run, just put on your trainers, right? Just put on your shoes and do nothing else. It's just the act, and every day you put on your running shoes, it's the act of doing it. So the act of you, every time you sit down, you just turn the camera on, you get familiar with the camera, and then over time, as you said, a year from now, you're going to be, you can look back and your skills are going to be amazing. So yeah, I think you did really well. It was great.
I recorded myself using my phone at work the other day at the university. I asked the students if they wouldn't mind me recording. But then I look back at the footage and I've got all the angles wrong, and it's cool.
But that's
I'm half chopped off,
right? But while
I'm teaching,
and this is the other thing I said to you. So when you're sitting down on your sofa filming yourself, when you look back, you will notice that, oh, that angle is wrong. But that footage is not going to be used. It's just a practice, right? So if you don't do that practice to know what angle is right, or the light was terrible, and that's let me sit a different place. Those are the little 1% improvements that you're making. And then when you actually do want to film something, right, if you've got a piece of content or you've got an intro to film, oh yeah, light, okay, angle, you kind of have all of that muscle memory there. So that it's great that you've kind of taken that on board, and it's not a huge, it feels like it's a big obstacle to us. And I know when we did a panel discussion for work in Florida about podcasting, and we asked the audience, what's the biggest obstacle for you? So a lot of people were saying that technology is the obstacle. And I just want to say that technology is so good nowadays, right? So for example, this camera is a high-end camera, but you stick it on auto, all you have to do is point and shoot, right? These microphones, they have the word pro in them. All you got to do is turn them on, they start recording. Right. So your mobile phone, let's forget even fancy equipment like this, your mobile phone, everyone is comfortable taking, pictures or video with their mobile phone. Yeah. It's just practicing, you putting it up on a tripod, trying different things out with it. So I think the technology should not, it just cannot be an obstacle in today's day. And then there's AI when it comes to production, which we could talk about. I don't want to start talking about that right now, because that's a whole series of podcasts that we can do on that, but just get it done. And that was part of this setup for me today, was like, just get it done, right? We're here, and we've been away so many times, and I've always said, let's record podcasts. And it's because of me that we've not recorded it, because the situation's always been too noisy, or there's not been the right place, or it's just
not enough light,
or I didn't bring the light, or and that perfectionism stopped us from capturing those moments. And actually, what's the most important thing is the memory, and we'll look back at this in a year's time and go, I remember when we were recording that podcast and it was noisy, and that's all good. So I just want to encourage people just to go out there and just, if making content is something you want to do, then and just start with filming yourself.
Yeah. Even the most successful entrepreneurs that I follow and that are role models, who are multimillionaires in their businesses, when you look at them on social media, they show you the behind the scenes. They are literally using their mobile phone on horizontal, and they've got it on a tripod. So you can start with something really simple that you've got at home, that you don't have to pay any additional kind of resource for.
Yeah.
But I've always had you in my life, and I've always had your video cameras and all the extra tech in front of me. So now I have
the cables and the batteries and the charging, and
So it is hard to keep up with that, but I have realized that I can learn, and it would be so stupid of me not to learn when I've got someone at home who can help me. So 2024, I think I need to make like a really decent goal around what I'm going to learn when it comes to tech.
Amazing. Wow.
Maybe 2024 will be my year for tech.
Well, you've already started embracing AI and using.
Oh, I love AI.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of that. We'll save that for
that needs a whole episode.
100%. We'll talk about that. Well, maybe a whole series on that. So yeah, good work. Technology. Okay, cool. So we'll make a note of that, and when we plan for next year, we can try and incorporate that. And well, you can come with me on more as my assistant more often if I have. Although I'm going to have fewer and fewer jobs now because, as I said, I've got a full-time job now. Which again, I haven't really talked about that, but I want to save that for give it its own episode as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is the other thing I guess a lot of people will ask and do ask us, is what's it like working with your husband?
Oh my goodness. I love working with you. I don't have any problems with you telling me what to do and bossing me about.
Do I boss you about?
Not in a rude way, or yeah. You just, you're doing your job. So, and I'm just following you as your assistant. So,
yeah, you're
just guiding me what to do, or what photos I need to take, or you use this camera and I'll use this one. I've got, it's not like I've got any choices, which is cool. I'm completely okay with that. In fact, I quite like not having the responsibility and just being told what to do when it's an area that I have very limited knowledge in. I just want to immerse myself with the tech, get used to holding a camera. I didn't even know how to hold it, or how to pop it on my side rather than on my neck. I figured that out during the conference, but it's just the simple things. And I absolutely love being able to spend time with you outside of our home life, even though it involves work. It's both, we're getting so much joy out of the work that we do, and it never feels like work. And that's the good thing. It's the enjoyment of a hobby and a passion outside of your day-to-day job that allows you to work with me. And it's so nice. I think it's so unique that you get to see my pharmacy life. I don't know any other husbands of colleagues of mine who would know as much as you do about what pharmacy is about. Meeting all my work friends that I talk about all the time, and immersing yourself in what I do and taking interest in what I do means a lot to me. So there are a lot of benefits, which I know people ask me this all the time. But how do you work with your husband? There's no way I would be able to do what you do. But for me, it's fun.
I agree. I think.
Am I a pain?
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, I've said this to you, I've said this to you before, where I've been on a job on my own and I've enjoyed myself, but I've said it's more fun when we have done these things together. So there's that element of it. And also, if it wasn't for this, if we didn't have this job or this work that we're doing, we wouldn't have been away on a weekend alone, because we'd be just focused on the kids and home life, and we just wouldn't. When's the last time we actually, like you said, when's the last time we actually did this intentionally without the kids? It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a while. So for me, it gets us. It's a good reason for us to. It forces us out of our routine. It forces us to get childcare, as painful as that is, right, for you, because you saw all of that out. It's worth that, and that's what gets us out. And then we get to spend the whole. We've been with each other every single minute of the day, right? Since Friday morning, and a lot of people that drive them crazy, right? But without the kids, for me anyway, it just reminds us of the life that we had before the kids, which was, and we didn't appreciate, and we've talked about this, we didn't appreciate it at the time, but we were living the dream, right?
Yeah, we were.
We just didn't. We didn't frame it that way. Well, we did, but we just didn't appreciate it as much. And it's always, in hindsight, you look back at these things and think, oh, that was really, people look back at their high school days and whatever. But anyway, so we get to spend all that time together, and we get to work together, and we get to come to hotels like this paid for by the client, right? So we don't have to spend any money, and we're getting paid to be here. And so it's just kind of like, well, why would we not do it, right? Like you said, yeah. Why would we not try and push our skills out there and showcase and do that? So yeah, and if we get touch wood, I don't know what's going to happen next year. If we get invited back again, that'll be great, and it'll be another
NPPG, have us back. I've got so many ideas. I'm not going to talk about them on this podcast, but I am really excited about what we could offer. I mean, of course, I want them to have a dedicated podcast room where I interview certain pharmacists And it's one of the plenary sessions that people can attend to learn about pharmacy careers.
Loads of conferences are doing that.
Yeah.
Loads of conferences are doing that.
Todd Urey from the Pharmacy Podcast Network, my legendary friend, he just goes around to all the massive pharmacy conferences, has an amazing stand with video camera setup, audio, and he's just interviewing people the whole day, and it's getting broadcasted at the conference. So cool.
Well, let's pitch that.
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah. I think it'll be amazing.
So we getting back to the spending time with each other. I think it's fantastic. We get to do it. I love it. We wouldn't have done it otherwise. I guess it's away from the kids. It's a win-win. I feel quite chill and relaxed. We're enjoying ourselves. I've been getting to play with cameras and microphones and technology all weekend. It doesn't really get better for me. So I love it. I love working together. It's not like, and also you got to remember, it's not like we are working with each other every day, 8 hours of the day, right? It's not like that. It's not a 9 to 5 every single day. No. It's less and less now because I obviously have a job as well. But with the podcast, we have to get together and do certain things for Pharmacist Diaries and for Anisha and Sanjay. But then there's the odd few occurrences like this. So that also kind of helps. It's not every single day, all day long. But no, as far as these weekends go, I think we should. It's making me think now we should try and do more of these, right? But in this
what's our next project?
Well, if you think about it, a lot of content creators, that's what they do, right? The people that I've been inspired by, the Casey Neistats of this world, Peter McKinnon, people like that, they will go on these adventures and try and get paid for them, try and get sponsorship. They'd get these brands and they'd get them so they get to document all of that, what's been going on. So for us, it's different. We're doing it from a corporate conferencing perspective, but there's an angle there, I think, which I'd like to explore. So maybe that's something we'll plan out for 2024 as well. How we're going to take these kind of this podcast or I don't know what you want to call it, but this offering on the road.
And also it's, being at this conference, we're marketing ourselves because there were a few people who said that they're doing certain events. So one of the Great Ormond Street pharmacists is doing a few events and they want it to be recorded. They're going to think of us immediately. They're not going to go onto Google and start researching for videographers. They will come to someone that they know and trust and have worked with before. They've seen us in action. They know I'm a pharmacist, so that gives us an advantage compared to a company that don't know anything about pharmacy. So
I also think they quite like the fact that we're a couple and we work together. And
I know they love it.
Yeah,
so I got quite a few messages from people just saying it's so cute that you work together and you're spending the weekend working together on things that you love doing.
I want to normalize that, and we spoke about this weekend in that. I don't believe that we're unique. I don't think this is a one-off, and I know you kind of were kind of questioning that, but I know there are people out there who work together. I mean, our friends Lax and Satch, they work together on their interior design. Again, it's not every single day, but they do their design projects. They work together. They coordinate. There's Nick Feeney and Andrea, his lovely wife. They do a podcast together. They work together on their business, their coaching business. So I want to actually go and find some more power couples. I'm going to use that power couples phrase, and maybe we'll come and get them on the podcast and interview them. I think that'll be quite a good dynamic to look inside and see how do these other couples do and what they do, but also just showcase to the world that it's perfectly normal to work together. Yeah, why not? I mean, yeah. So anyway, that's something else I want to try and think about doing. But yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of people that I've met over the last couple of days. They like the fact that we're a couple, we work together, and they always say to me, "Oh, she's dragged you along."
Did they say that?
That's what they say. Yeah, it's like you've dragged me there.
What did you say?
Nothing. It was just in passing. I can't remember. I think it was Afran. Yeah, Afran. Obviously, we know her from the podcast. Gosh, so that's the other thing is, like you said,
she's so adorable.
Yeah, it's nice for me as well because I don't know these people, but I've met them now a couple of times, and I'm seeing them in different places.
And they love you. They always give you a hug.
It's lovely. Yeah, it's nice.
Just really happy to see you.
Yeah, and I think they've also appreciated the content that we put out, and they know I've created it, and they like that, and they love the work that we do. So that also helps. So yeah, I think looking forward to many more of these.
I mean, we're in November at the moment, and I wanted to kind of look ahead to next month in terms of what we'll be getting up to for Anisha and Sanjay and our family.
What are we going to be getting up to?
Something very exciting. I have to sing about it because I'm that excited, because I've been waiting.
So our next remote, the ass on tour, is going to be?
Zanzibar.
Finally.
I had to sing about it. I'm so excited for this holiday. I have been waiting to travel for so long, like too long.
Are you looking at yourself or are you looking at the screen?
No, I'm looking in the lens.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking in the lens, guys. I'm not looking at the screen. Sanjay would really tell me off. I'm looking in the lens. Another tip.
People are going to think I tell you off all the time now. You already said about me being bossy.
That's one of those moments.
Yeah. Zanzibar. Yeah. So we're going to Zanzibar. Finally, we booked that. It's one of our dream destinations we've had on our list for a while, isn't it?
Yeah. And any excuse for me to go to Africa, I'm there. Any excuse.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. Beach holiday, guaranteed sun. We're going to get there.
And a lot of adventure. I've got a lot of adventure planned. I'm very much looking forward to snorkeling. I've already, obviously you got Lily the snorkel, which was amazing, but my plan was to get her a snorkel at least a month in advance so she could practice using it in the bath so she doesn't freak out using it on holiday.
1%, 1%
yeah,
every day.
It takes away the fear of having to breathe through your mouth and not have access to your nose, because I want to take her on a boat ride. I want to take her into the ocean, and she has been in the ocean before, but she hasn't been in the ocean where she can't stand. And that can be quite scary if you're not a super confident swimmer. And then underneath you, there are going to be fish and turtles and coral. And I just want to take away as much of the fear as I can. And one of those things was being able to breathe and swim and feel safe in that environment, because I don't know how choppy it's going to be. So at least we've helped her a little bit. You probably need to practice because you've been snorkeling once with me. But it was quite hard for you because you've also got the fear of the ocean and not being able to stand. And I think the ocean can be extremely overwhelming for some people because it's so much unknown under the water.
I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for planet Earth, man, and most of it is covered by oceans. And there's a reason for that. It's a force. So when it comes to the ocean, I don't mess about. Yeah. But you're right. It's something I need to overcome, and I am working on it, and I will overcome it. But it is, it's something that has been there for a long, long time. And you're right. I don't want Lily to suffer from that, or to see me, and then obviously she picks up on that, and then she kind of mirrors that behavior. So but yeah, anyway, I don't know how we got onto that, but Zanzibar is going to be amazing.
Zanzibar, no adventures. So I've got this boat ride planned. I gave Lily some options as to what you can do in Zanzibar, and one of the things that I saw was horse riding on the beach, and you take the horses in the ocean and they can walk and swim, and she's really up for that. Kai is just going to be Kai. I have no idea what an 18-month-old, he's not even going to be 18 months, 16-ish months, is going to get up to on holiday. He's going to be wild. But it's going to be so much fun. And I cannot wait to share that holiday and that joy and that time for us where we'll be relaxing with you guys.
Yeah, so that'll be our next podcast recording. I'm sure we'll be putting it on our stories, and so make sure you're following on Instagram we changed the handle. It says at Anisha and Sanjay, not the Anisha and Sanjay Show. So the podcast is called the Anisha and Sanjay Show, or the Ass, and our Instagram is at Anisha and Sanjay. So
watch the space.
Watch your space.